Hey friends and revolutionaries, we're back to take a look at the next in the Red Hulk series, Marvel Legends Target exclusive by Hasbro. And today we're taking a look at the black costume Spider-Man. Very interesting that they actually call it the black costume Spider-Man because, as we all know from the Secret Wars, when Peter Parker got the suit originally and discovered it was the symbiote and basically rejected it, and it found Eddie Brock. After all that had happened, Spider-Man, or Peter, made a Spider-Man outfit as a copy of the suit. So he actually did make a regular suit that was in the same black. So when it says black costume Spider-Man, don't know if they're referring to the symbiote or the costume Spider-Man just made, that is just him in his black suit. I guess the back bio will tell us. But before that, on the packaging, we've got the black costume Spider-Man here, the 4 panels that are very common for all Marvel Legend Hasbro figures. Of course, the Red Hulk here, figure number 3. Other figures that we have done: Spiral, Wolverine, Union Jack, Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock. You take a look at Spider-Man now. That'll only give us, or leave us with the Silver Savage, and then a big old red Build-A-Figure Hulk to take a look at when we're done. We've collected all 6. It'll be time to put together the Hulk. Taking a look at the bio. Transported to an alien world by the mysterious Beyonder, alongside dozens of other heroes and villains from Earth, Spider-Man is in the fight of his life. Pitted against villains far more powerful than any he has faced before, it's all he can do to just stay alive and protect his fellow heroes. With costume and web shooters destroyed, his first priority is to keep things decent. Okay. When he encounters a mysterious high-tech costume-making machine, the prison, he's more than willing to give it a shot. The result is a slick new costume, the symbiote, with a whole new set of powers seemingly designed specifically to give him the extra edge he needs. Yeah, you're in trouble. Height 5'10", weight 167, real name Peter Benjamin Parker, identity secret, alias Webhead, affiliations none. None? Come on, he's teamed up with all kinds of guys. Powers: enhanced strength and reflexes, wall climbing, and spider sense. So though the bio seems to be talking about the symbiote, under the powers, it doesn't talk about the web slingers, the fact that he doesn't need to have his web shooters, and the fact the suit can mimic other costumes or clothing. So it's something where here it talks about the symbiote, here it doesn't. So I guess you can go either way as to how you want to play with them. One interesting note about the black costume Spider-Man, and something I think is very, very cool, is that Julia Carpenter, the second Spider-Woman, my preferred Spider-Woman actually, showed up in the Secret Wars in her black costume first. The black costume with the very similar, torso piece with the white boots and gloves. That's how she appeared while Spider-Man was still in his red and blues. It wasn't until Spider-Man encountered the symbiote and was thinking about Julia's outfit that it kind of read his mind, sensed his feelings, and then designed this suit to mimic hers. So before anyone thinks that Julia, Spider-Woman, was copying Spider-Man's new costume, no. Peter actually subconsciously copied hers. So just an extra little tidbit about the costume. It's one of the things I like is that, Spider-Woman, Julia, very cool costume. So much so that they went ahead and incorporated it for Peter as well. That's a quick look at the figure in pack. Let's take a moment, pop them open, have some fun. Be right back. Alright, Spider fans, we're back, and I'm going to go ahead and just get right into it. This is not a bad Spider-Man. I don't want anybody to get the impression that I'm going to say this is a bad Spider-Man. But at the same time, I don't think anyone would think of him as being kind of the definitive black costume Spider-Man. And the disappointing part is that he could have been. This could really have been one of the better black-suited Spider-Man figures that have been done. But either because of, well, I'm gonna blame most of it just on assembly. I'm gonna blame this on quality control because most of the problems that he has could have been fixed with just a little bit of a little bit more attention being paid to how he was being put together. How? First and foremost, I do want to go ahead and point out something I really do like, and that is the spider on his chest, the paint on his spider. It's always been something that's rather easy to mess up, and in this case, it looks like it turned out pretty well. The lines are fairly crisp. The back or the side legs match up; they line up pretty well. And because he does use the Union Jack torso, there's the neck again. He has the shoulder crunch, which you can see the legs on the spider, they line up pretty well as well. Pretty well also. So it's something where as easy as it could have been to mess up the spider, it's always been an area where I'm always concerned on how well they get that spider to line up and get him to look. This one actually turned out pretty well. Now, despite that he is kind of a reuse of the torso that we've seen before, I don't actually begrudge them doing that. Mattel does it. Mattel does it a lot. It's something where Hasbro still does it with the Marvel Universe figures. So reusing parts for characters is pretty pat for action figure lines. Excuse me, guys. But again, it's not so much the fact they've reused parts, it's just how the parts were put together. And in some cases, kind of the paint application on it. What do I mean? Well, let's go ahead and get into the articulation. Excuse me, guys, I think I'm losing my voice here. Along with the of course, the joint up and down, go side to side. So head, no problem. Shoulder crunch, no problem. Arms comes up, out, twist of the shoulder, bicep, double joint at the elbow, and then the first problem. And that is on the forearm. Why there's a forearm twist there to begin with, I don't know. But what it did is when you look at it, the arm is just out of alignment. You can kind of see right there. It just doesn't quite line up with the forearm and the entire arm. The forearm here just doesn't line up right. And it's kind of disappointing that they would use this arm with this particular twist, because the hand already has a twist on it and a hinge. So using an arm that would require to have this cut in it, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary, and it kind of dragged the figure down because when it was put together, it wasn't put together right. So, problem number one. Of course, there's Spider-Man with a little dot on his hand. So, for people who are, nitpickers, there's the dot. It's on both. The forearm issue is true for both sides as well. So I don't want you to think that this is just something on one side. No, this is actually something that affects both sides. It is out of alignment on both sides. He's got a good clicky crunch and twist of the waist. And then we come up with the issue number 2. On his briefs, he's pretty flush on the front of the figure. It comes up pretty well on the front. But again, on the back, there is this kind of misalignment, or at least misshape, where you can tell that it just doesn't look as though that this lower torso fits with the shape of this mid body piece, this lower, I guess, abdomen piece. And you may consider that to be nitpicking, but when you see him in person, it looks a little funny. It looks a little out of place, because it is. On the legs, they do come up and out. Twist at the top of the thigh. Double joint at the knee. Twist at the boot. And issue number 2. Actually, number 2 and, or I guess 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Here, just like with the forearm, there's a twist of the boot, which makes sense, but they misaligned it. It is out of alignment, and it can be pretty obvious in some places. This leg is a little bit better than this one, but considering that it's an issue with the forearms and the calves, you know, again, quality control in this figure was pretty lax on this one. Maybe it's different for others, but this one seemed to have some real issues how it was put together. The other problem I have with it is that when you look at the paint, especially on this one, you can see here at the top of the boot or at the top of the calf, you know, there's dry brushing that's on the knee and the leg, and it's black costume Spider-Man, so there's going to be the blue dry brushing throughout him. But here, it's like there's the dry brushing here and then stops as soon as the boot kicks in. No pun intended. You can kind of twist it a little bit, I guess. But it doesn't really look as though that this was lined up properly when the paint was applied. Here, it's actually very apparent on this one. You can twist it like so, but then you can really tell that, okay, that's not the way the leg was meant to go on there. You put it like so, and there's blue here at the top of the boot, but nothing on the leg. Blue on the leg, not much on the boot. You know, it's not any one big thing where you say this is a bad figure, only that there are these little minor things that just sort of added up to being kind of a disappointment. His foot does have a twist and a hinge, and all the joints are very tight and very nice. So I don't doubt that there's probably some really good kind of iconic Spider-Man-like poses. You know, we can probably get him into. Oops. Keep banging my camera. But just overall, it's something where when you start to look at the finer points, the detail on the figure, you start to notice that even though he's very cool and one that you probably would like having, I would certainly still recommend him. He's not a drag on the wave. You're still probably going to be out looking for the definitive black costume Spider-Man. This doesn't quite get there, but it could have been one of the better ones. If Hasbro's going to start re-releasing the 2-packs of the Marvel Legends, you know, re-releasing this Spider-Man with a little more work on him, I think could be a good figure. I think he could be a real winner. He does come with the left arm to the Red Hulk. So now with Spider-Man and the others done, we only have one figure left to go. Everybody, I certainly hope you enjoyed watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.